I still have this like on a thing.
Hello. We're live.
Hello,
My dog thinks
everybody.
this is for him. Okay, so I want to make sure everyone can hear us. I think they can. We have it all set up. There's no echo. Look at us moving up in the world. And then
Right?
Dawn feels better. She no
Yeah,
longer
I'm
is
feeling
sick.
better. It had to have been something we ate. It was
Yeah.
horrible last night.
Fun
So
fact, there's
I'm sorry for
not
being absent, but here last night.
that is okay. That's sort of why we're doing a stream now. Fun fact, what people call the 24-hour flu is most of the time something
Yeah.
that you ate. So totally probably what happened.
Actually, felt kind
Alyssa. We love you, Alyssa.
of
Derek, yes. I hope that it'll be a good stream. So what I really want to do is I would love to get your questions around the Heidi Plank
Yep.
case. I know there were some questions yesterday. Dawn is our legal expert. I will call you that because I know nothing. Like I will read and skim and try to understand. And I've sent some articles to a friend of mine who's a lawyer, but beyond that, I'll look at it and it's basically gibberish to me. So
Right.
if you have any questions about that, great. Good evening, Gary. You've been here for a couple of times. So something new is. Do we want to share
Yeah,
what
go
we've
for
done
it.
today?
Yeah, go for it.
We now have our own little group, our own little Discord where we'll be sharing our information. So if you are a serious internet investigator, if you're somebody who, would
Let's
like
see.
to, help look into new investigations, knows of some that are happening, stuff like that, feel free to join the Discord. Please reach out. We are being selective with the people who are joining because we want people who are skilled and dedicated and respectful. I think respectful is kind of the fundamental thing that I'm personally looking for, as well as just people who are interested in helping others. So
Yeah, we've
there we
got some
go.
good
So yeah,
mods who are going to like make sure
yeah,
that,
and I also have to
certain
say,
things,
still like
like yeah.
yeah, there are other discords that we've been part of, and that's great. There's no harm in having multiple people look for similar information.
Mm,
I respect everybody. Okay, I think we bring special things to the table, and so I just love everyone in this field who are doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. I
right.
know Dawn and I mentioned last time. I've probably spent no joke, probably 80 hours working on cases.
Right.
Uh,
Mhm.
so I've worked on three so far at like a large capacity and probably collectively more than 80 hours. But this is something that I love. I just
Yeah,
need to make sure that
same with
I'm
me.
able to get sleep.
Same with me.
Exactly.
I think what we're getting at is like we don't tolerate direct hits against people. We don't tolerate victim shaming. We don't tolerate uh any meanness.
Hmm.
Everybody is allowed, and we welcome. And when I say welcome, I mean we really welcome other people's points of views, but we also expect everybody to consider their points of views and be respectful to each other, just like you would want to be treated, because
Hmm.
we've seen a lot that have not been that way. So we're gonna keep it.
Yeah. And, that's not to say people can't make mistakes or, I definitely get in moods where I don't react and, I'll be driving sometimes and I've I'll say it. You know
Don't
what?
even
I've
go there.
I've given I
Don't.
know you say you have road rage, but
I have
I also
I live
have
in LA.
yeah, like I really yeah, LA. Yeah, in Toronto, when I used to live close to there, I wouldn't get road rage, but my knee jerk reaction would be to give someone the finger, and that never goes well.
Yeah, no.
So we're not. No one's perfect. We welcome discussion. We welcome debate. That's how we get to the root of the issue. The ways that we find out clues that are pertinent to cases.
Yeah.
So this discussion is really important. The thing is, if you cross the boundary and hurt somebody and don't apologize or whatever it may be, this is totally hypothetical. You're out of the Discord. So that is the one and only
But you
rule
guys, we are
be
all
kind.
going. We're all here for a common reason. All here to
Yeah.
help We're all here to bring some comfort or clarity or questions answered or whatever we can do to those people who have loved ones and friends and somebody they may know missing.
Mhm.
And that is a big ripple effect, and I know it can be emotional, and it's just it blows me away how the Gabby Petito case, and I'm going to say that because it what I mean, I've dealt with true crime has been something I've always been big on, but the new, and I'm saying new because I'm not a millennial anymore. I'm like older.
What do you mean anymore?
So
You can't
the
graduate from being a
new
millennial.
right.
What year
I
were
have
you born? Are
4
we allowed to
millennials. Yeah.
Are
Anything
you
under my yeah. Under let's see, the baby boom, anything under that, they're not it's hard to
Okay, so you're
understand
X,
the
you're
new
Generation X.
am I Generation X?
I think so. I think it's baby boom, Generation X,
I'm actually
or
the
Generation Forgotten. I think that's you guys are also
oh,
called that because 'cause you're, like,
please,
kinda
no
sandwiched.
generation is forgotten, even though
I
they
didn't
think
make
they
up that
are.
term. But then there's millennials, and then I think that it's generation I wanna say just Generation Y or something?
Yeah, but
Anyway.
that's now, that's like the last 10 years though, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like, you grow with your cohort. Like, I will
Right.
always be a
Well,
millennial.
and see, and that's why I'm saying this is because I found, and myself included, that streaming is a completely different world. But it is how I prefer to get my news. It is how I prefer to watch things on, you know, and even if it's through my TV, same thing.
Mhm.
Streaming is the thing. I mean, like that's most people understand it that are in their, 20s, 30s. So just picking it up over here,
Mhm.
mom, but learning a lot. And
And I just wanted to say that, last time I meant to show you guys a new case that we're investigating. Lynn, hats off to you.
yes,
You
Lynn,
have
you're
been the
amazing.
one really pushing for this, and I think for good reason. I'm just trying to get the best. Here, let's see, the wanted poster,
While
news
you're doing
article.
that, I'm just going to say one thing real quick. So, I'm really excited about Lynn's case, by the way, because I read into it a little bit. Oh my gosh. But I just getting started on reading. Yeah, it does. It's, ugh, that's what I mean when we want to help people. This is the
Hmm.
kind of case. Um, but also, and then we kind of briefly touched on this, but I my boots on the ground title isn't for anything. I am happy to if anybody that's watching is in the LA area, Orange County area, San Diego area, maybe up north even a little bit, Southern California. Let us know. Send in your information and yeah, we'll go over it because I can actually do some boots on the ground work that way.
Hmm. And
And
that
I
is really
and I love that.
important.
Was I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I was just going to say that's really important for the Heidi Plank case. There's no way we would have figured out some of the things that we did had it not been for you going there in person.
It
There are
gives
just
you such a
things.
different perspective, and I can bring
Yeah.
it back to you guys. I
Yeah.
know there's not a lot of us down here, so
Right. So any cases in Vancouver or LA,
yeah,
that
yeah,
would be
Vancouver
great.
too. Absolutely,
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah. I can
Vancouver
drive
or
around.
LA, hey, hey. Otherwise, we're going to be probably picking up ones that are our little wonderful, amazing, brilliant Discord group has.
Yeah.
So this is it.
So this is the new potential case. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say the new case. This is the new case.
There you go.
And so this is, I believe, the abductor. Lynn, feel free to call in if you wanted to give kind of a rundown because you've done a lot of work on this already.
We're not
But
letting go of the Gabby Petito. I mean, the
no,
sorry,
we're still going to
the
do the Heidi
Heidi
Plank.
Plank case is
Yes.
still alive and kicking, but
Yes.
but
We
just
are
just what I don't
hanging
want to.
on by a thread waiting for information.
Yeah,
So
we are
just
and
know
taking.
that exactly. So when we find more information or if someone challenges us, like on this stream, if someone asks us a question or points to an article maybe that we haven't seen, which is unlikely, I'll let you know. But if that is the case, happy to go live and talk about it.
Mhm.
So this is the type of thing. That's why it's called in like real investigations in real time, is because we're doing it right away. We want the information to get out, and the purpose isn't to be right or wrong. The purpose is to get this information out and help the case genuinely. I also did reach out to Heidi's cousin. He has done a couple of interviews before, so I'm hoping he'll be open to speaking with us. But I will let you know. If it's a no, that's fine. Yeah, so we'll see. So this actually might not be the best article, but essentially, Noah and his cousin Amber, so 3 and 16, are missing from Kentucky, and they are thought to be in the company of Jacob or Jake Clare. So he's the father, the birth father, and he's the uncle of Amber. He has not returned Noah after visitation. So I believe from what Lynn said, he gets them every second weekend, which is, one of the custody arrangements that I've heard of before. Um, so Jake sold his truck and was seen on camera purchasing a used Subaru Outback and putting Noah into the car with no car seat in the back hours before the disappearance. So it's safe to say it's probably him that took them. We also, in the Clio case, I looked into some data around missing children, and the vast majority of the
It's
time, it's the birth mother or
unbelievable.
father. Yeah. And it's typically people who don't have and this is not to say they're not smart, but they don't have a high degree of education, and they didn't want to go through the law, or the law avenue in order to get
Sometimes they
more
just
of a
don't know where to
custody.
start, to be honest,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
So yeah, so the families of Noah and Amber are extremely concerned. It is thought he may be traveling to Tennessee in the Smoky Mountain area. And I believe Lynn just found out he was registered as a sex offender somewhere. So the reason why I bring this up is because it's kind of something where we don't want to wait about it. So if you are interested in this case, like I certainly am, please get in touch. Join the Discord. Again, if you make a comment or send me, I'll post our email in once the stream is over. I'll post our email and you can get in touch with us and we'll send you an invite. Just make sure that you understand the rules of the Discord, and just just be nice. You heard us.
Well, I have a
Okay.
question real quick.
Yeah.
Um, I just read something that tells me that you guys have in Canada 16 children missing a year.
16?
That's what it says.
Is that high or low?
Oh my goodness. See, okay, so I've had this conversation with pretty much every teacher in class when I had been in class with just countless people how, believe it or not, Canada has their shit together. I mean,
Oh,
it
okay.
really, as far as crime goes,
Well, I don't know.
we
That
have
doesn't
the lowest
really.
lowest gun rate
Oh, this is
incident.
from 2015. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know
we have
much about.
very low. That's why you don't know much. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very different once you cross the border here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know. I mean, I don't know many people who own guns beyond those who actively hunt or anything.
I
And
mean,
when someone does own a gun and doesn't hunt, people really look at them suspiciously.
wow. Yeah.
And the other thing is, we're not all sunshines and rainbows, because if
No, I'm
you
not saying
heard
that.
about, yeah, the
But
indigenous.
I have to say, like
Wow.
16 people a year is like 16 a day for us.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
have we have so
that's
the
I just want to know how you do it. I want to implement your justice system, number one, please. Court system, number two, and healthcare system.
Well, I know people who are nurses, and the way that we have started doing at-home calls is we send social workers or nurses to go in first before the police, or to accompany the police. So
Wow,
it's
that's what we
not just.
started doing down here. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, well, actually for mental health calls,
that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's been
but
too
it's been
much that has gone wrong. Okay.
So wait, do we have
Um,
anybody calling in yet? Is what I want to know.
yeah,
So who's
let's get some
nothing?
callers.
Come on,
Otherwise, it's
guys.
just gonna
That's
be us
pretty much why
talking.
we're here. We came on tonight to say hi, kind of introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about ourselves, which I think we will.
Look who it is.
You know who we are, and then people, yay!
It's
Hold
one
on,
of
hold
the
on. I gotta
owners.
mute you. There. Okay. I heard you
This
guys at a delay.
Nice.
yeah, that's a nightmare. That's when I first called into my first show, there was such a bad delay that actually this was a bad idea. Sorry, honey. Maybe next time.
He's a
Y-
baby. He just
he
wants
is a
to be loved
baby. He's
on.
He's
only
so
7 months.
cute.
Yeah, thank you. And then there's my old man who just got diagnosed with Cushing's disease. And the person,
Cushing's really?
yeah, the person told
Oh,
me not to look
baby.
into it.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's not good.
I know what it's like for people. I don't know what it's like for animals.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it, but probably very similar.
And to
Um,
tissue my nose.
that's so nice. At least it
How are
wasn't
you
something
doing?
else. You could always mute for something else too.
Right.
One of these days I'm gonna screw up, I swear.
It's Canada. I mean, I'm hosting right now, right? And YouTube is located server in Canada.
I don't want us to get kicked off YouTube or whatever it is
Right.
they do. So but
um,
okay. So
What's up, Allie? Lay it
oh
out.
shoot. My kid got up and I had to put him back to bed and he totally screwed up anything that was in my head.
well, I did want to say, maybe as you're thinking of your question, that Ali is one of the owners and moderators of our Discord. So, welcome, Ali. She can
Thank
kick your
you.
butts off if you are mean. So, be nice to Ali. Be nice to Derek, Alyssa, Luke. You know what?
Yeah, get
Everyone,
those in your back
Can we
pocket.
just be nice to each other, like
yes,
across
Yeah,
the
that can
board?
happen too. That's number
that
9.
is a rule. Yeah, literally everyone here. I know there's probably not that many watching right now, but you guys are
Ooh, my
salt of the earth.
screen's making me look whiter than I am on any other day. It's
Welcome
all
to
right.
my world.
I always say I'm the whitest Indian you'll ever meet.
Right, because you're native,
But
right?
yeah, I was
You're
born on the reservation. Yep,
right.
all my family's there.
Really?
Yep, my grandma was a boarding school survivor. In fact, she tried to send my mom to a boarding school when she was pregnant with me.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
Hey, my whole family,
Wow.
and myself went to boarding schools. So
Oh
All
man.
17 of my grandma's siblings were boarding school
right.
survivors, the Catholic
Your
boarding school.
Catholic. I was
grandmother
just gonna ask
had
if you're Catholic or
17.
not. Yeah. Been
That's
there, done
great.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a very Native American spiritualist crossed with, just very much. I do follow a lot of Native traditions. I burn sage when I want
I do too.
to bless something or to ask for help or energy. So I'm very much that person. I always have sage on hand. I don't have sweetgrass now, but that's because I live in a state that's not uh, really got tribal affiliates that do a lot of sweetgrass
Hmm.
uh, smudging. And the one rope I did have, I gave to somebody because I felt inclined to. And if you are
Mm,
feeling that way, you should give. So,
that's so nice.
anyways, so
That is neat.
there's a little bit of my indigenous side, but
I
I'm
It's great.
Chippewa, and then the other side of my family is Norwegian.
oh, so that's why
So
you're so
I'm
white.
like a Romeo and Juliet cross, especially where I'm
Oh.
from.
So I have a question, if you don't mind, about
Hmm.
cultural appropriation. That's something I'm really sensitive to.
Hmm.
And I've definitely done things in the past where I look back and think, gosh, I would never say that, or I would never do that, or like back in my early days, I was like, oh, I want dreads so bad, and I'm so glad I
Right.
didn't get them because now it would be mortifying. But smudging is something I do. Is that like is that okay for someone who
Yes.
has no yes?
I'll tell you why. Because smudging is not.
It's not a religious
It
thing.
is well. It is a spiritual thing, but
Right.
it's not exclusive to It is not exclusive to indigenous people of the United States or even North America. You like your Celtic tribes and stuff, even over in Europe. It might be a different herb that they use, but smudging ultimately is a type of blessing or prayer. It's
Okay.
something that's uniformed. A lot of pagan religions also use sage
Right.
smudging, so like I said, it's not exclusive to indigenous people. The practices or the prayers that you say while you smudge can be culturally exclusive, and some tribes can take offense if you're not linked to their bloodline in some mannerism, and it's just because they feel like um, that's a part of their belief system.
Hmm.
Um, they don't know what kind of energy will come with it if they don't know the direct ties to the things you're doing. So,
Gotcha.
Right. That's true. You don't have enough knowledge to really be doing it
mm-hmm.
properly. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, that makes me feel better for the decades of
Yep.
smudging I've been doing. I
Okay, so
promise I don't do any of the prayers
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, but
I
I
would like
did that
to
when I
know.
bought my house.
Uh,
Oops,
oh no, don't even go
Don.
there. Been there. Um, Allie, really quickly. So I wanted. Can you just clear something up for me very clearly? Just clear it up. Is indigenous peoples or person the
Mm-hmm.
appropriate? Um,
I will tell you that I'm not the most politically correct person in the world. So if you call me an Indian, I'm not gonna, my panties aren't gonna wad up, and I'm not gonna be mad.
Yeah.
right.
Like,
Well, I'm just saying because I mean it's big. It is
it is a very hot
become a definite.
political topic.
Well, and it's
I
become
just
a
think
definite like flip in our societal how
my
we
daughter
talk with
was
each
a
other.
cheerleader.
Mhm.
My kids' school's team is the Redskins. So
ugh, see, that bothers me to the
And
core.
did it bother you at all?
I I actually live in a primarily Caucasian area, and I was the Indian fighting to keep the name when
Oh, how funny!
they tried to change it. And
Oh my
Yeah,
it's because I try to look at all sides of things.
God.
A lot of the nobody ever called. I could tell you all the horrible names you can call an indigenous person to really piss them off, but that's never one that anybody ever called me or anybody I
I
ever
think
knew
it's a
in a
fairly more
derogatory
recent.
way. And I did a lot of research in it, and there is really even the tribe where they say that the term originated from. Nowhere in their history do they have it written, even in the Phipps Proclamation, which is where they try to associate the term to, of like 1867 or some. I read the proclamation like word for word,
Oh
and
no.
then
She's
like
too
I
embarrassed.
went deep
She's
in
like, I
that.
shouldn't have asked the question.
She's like, "Shut up, Allie. Okay, enough. Don't ramble about it."
But I will say that the Redskins, that's been something that after, like, I don't know what it's like in the US, like just being in Canada, but our residential schools were horrid. We never learned about them in school ever. The
They
last
were
one
the
closed.
same here.
Yeah, the last one closed down in 1996, I think it was. And they've
Yep,
been
last
finding, as I'm
residential
sure you
school to
know,
close down.
many bodies of children,
Yeah,
missing children, and just
Wow.
from the residential schools. And it is horrible, horrible, horrible
I
hearing
have
about this now.
a book over there that I would recommend to anybody. Let me grab it so you guys can see what it looks like.
sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, indigenous stuff is really interesting. I know in Canada, if you want to be politically correct, you would say indigenous peoples because that encompasses, everybody. Whereas First Nations, not everyone was First Nations. And also, I believe Métis are not included in the indigenous.
I've heard of
Stringing
that.
rosaries.
Oh
Ah,
wow!
yes, you mentioned.
I
I
have
Right.
so
you
heard
know
of
what?
that
Is that an
before.
Oprah book? Not written,
It
like an
is
Oprah stamps book?
so it's
I think I
written.
saw that the other day. I didn't know what it was about.
It's written by a woman named Denise Lattimore. She's from North Dakota. She's actually from the reservation that I'm from.
Wow.
Wow.
She was a teacher for many, many years. She was funded by the University of North Dakota to do this book. It is a collection of 16 stories directly from boarding school survivors. It has an insane amount of information right at the beginning of the book that's collective data that goes over cultural trauma is really what they talk about a lot when it comes to Indigenous people in the boarding schools. And because they were trying to essentially strip all of the traditional Native American beliefs, language, anything to civilize what they believed to be savage people. In fact, it was said when they did it, it was their theme for the whole boarding school thing was kill the Indian, save the man. That was their slogan for that whole boarding school campaign.
That's horrible.
Wow. Yeah,
I
that
have
really is terrible.
all them books up there are all my Indigenous people books. I have a lot of the history books and the ones you won't find on mainstream shelves because they're written by Indigenous people or people who've spent an incredible amount of money. Huh?
What res are you from?
Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, North Dakota.
No wonder why you like turtles. Just kidding.
Right? Ironically, I used to go to Canada over the border from the Peace Gardens with my grandpa when I was a kid to go to the turtle races in Canada. So turtles have been a really cute part of my life for a long time.
We love you.
Cute. Well, I was telling you yesterday, was it? No, it was 2 days ago. I got my dogs groomed at a new groomer, and I'd never met her before. And she ended up telling me her life story and how she was ripped away from her parents at 9 years old to go to residential school and was, never told about her culture or anything like that. And now she's in her late 50s and wants to learn some of that culture. And she's really passionate about it. And it's been a really, really interesting and traumatic journey for her. It's funny because this started because I told her, like, she asked me, am I going to have kids? Blah, blah. I'm a 30-something-year-old woman. I said, yeah, I don't know. If I do have kids, I'll adopt older children. She's like, oh, I was adopted. And I was expecting to hear like this great story.
Right.
And instead it was like, be careful. This is what happened to me and, X, Y, and Z. And it's interesting. It doesn't make me not want to adopt, but it certainly just brings to light. Yeah.
I was adopted.
You were adopted too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Really? Yes, so was I. But I had my mom and my stepdad.
Yeah, I was adopted when I was 3 days old.
Oh my gosh. See, and then my husband's daughter also has an open adoption with her parents. Or her baby's parents. So, but we're going to go see her next weekend. It's the most amazing situation. It's
I'm very lucky to have the parents I have. I'll tell you that.
I bet.
Wow.
They're like my best friends.
I'm glad you
like
feel
the
that way
love
about your
affair
parents.
of a lifetime for me. So I was very lucky.
Yeah.
And I haven't even wanted to look for my parents, like, at all, because my parents are my parents.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are adopted want to. But
well, you have the skills.
Right?
You have a whole team that can do for you.
Yes.
So maybe we can, I don't know, what do we want to do? Does anyone want to call in and ask, do you guys have any questions about
I actually do.
Go for it.
All right. So Dawn, you know how like you posted that whole thing about Josh Sugarman today?
Yeah.
What actually is it?
I wanted your guys' opinion on what you think.
So is he bankrupt? Is he not bankrupt? Like, what is it?
So the bankruptcy thing?
Yeah.
So I guess in going through it and listening to everybody else who was trying to like put their 2 cents in, which helped a lot because I didn't know really what it was when I first found it. It looked like he worked, and this is something that I've looked and I've cross-checked and it's true, but it doesn't give, I can't find the years or how deep he was in it or what the heck he had to do with possibly investing or owning in it. But Premier,
Really?
definitely working as an auditor for Premier.
That's really strange.
For the bank, now we found out that the auditors can come from appointed by Congress, appointed by, so apparently Premier was appointed by the White House to do an audit on some of the corporations that the cabinet was into.
Wow.
Wow.
That's where that came from.
That's
Yeah.
pretty big.
So like I don't have a lot of like, I basically put it on there so you guys could help me like dig into it and see like what the heck. But then I go down the line and I kept seeing all of these corporations that he either has had and had dissolved or he has had affiliation with. I mean, a good portion of them.
Yeah, because I was working a lot today, so like I
That's
was
okay.
hardly checking in on some stuff like that. But I was like,
Like,
wait,
I
is
still had
he?
COVID. I'm not back to work yet. So I'm like, I'm all yours, you guys. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad.
So that's, I mean, yeah. If anything comes out of that you think is interesting, please, yeah, let us know.
Yeah, because that was a pretty cool find.
It's wow.
That's what I
So
said.
many of the companies that are in there that
I
have been
mean,
chosen
yes,
for bankruptcy are just like, what? How are you going to do that to your own company? So it's might want to go over it with a pretty fine tooth comb. I found some interesting stuff, but I haven't been able to follow up on it. I just found it this afternoon. So
That's really interesting, though.
right.
You guys find some amazing stuff. I would have to say. Like, we are so lucky to have you, guys.
Yeah, well, and we bounce things off each other, which helps a lot,
Right.
and we
Yeah,
think a
2
lot.
heads are better than one, they always say.
Oh yeah, and it's crazy because I think we've made more progress in this, like I know for myself, I can't speak for her, but in the last like week where we decided to really join forces, we've already like we're pretty much close to closing out a case
Well, you
here.
guys are the dream team.
I mean, yeah, we know more than most of the people out there. Between the
Right.
two of us, something clicks with our brains and they work well together.
Yeah,
Totally.
you guys get along very well, and also with you living out there, that also helped a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And this is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, any LA cases or Vancouver cases, because then she can go. Please let us know. I mean, I could go find one, but I'd rather have something that's close to someone's heart. And if not, I'm sure it's close to somebody else's if we find one. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Well, the new
whole
case you
reason we're
guys
doing
found
this.
is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never simple, right? Every time we get a case, it's like, oh yeah, she went to the building. She's in the building, obviously. Like, let's just go
right.
find the car,
No, we don't put
and
anything
you
in it.
go. It's
And then
like
we find nothing
this
in it.
Next
slew.
thing you know,
Yeah, it's like they're related to Epstein and whatever, whatever
Yeah.
it is. So
It's
this is an
never-
Good, I
interesting
haven't checked that one. Wait, hold on.
So this is an interesting question. Oh God, I hope that's not the case. I can't go down that rabbit hole. Though I wouldn't mind.
I will not.
I wouldn't mind going to the island. I don't
Yeah,
know
right,
if
No, it is
right.
a beautiful
there.
place.
Is that a bad thing to say?
And
But
before it's all said
person-
and done, you guys, we're gonna really, really be like, all right, we need to make a with
Here,
our
I'm gonna pop this up so that I can just put it down and we can move on.
Oh.
This
Oh,
is
there's a
also
map in it.
included in this book.
wow.
Oh, that
Oh,
is
wow.
neat.
In Stringing Rosaries. It is an entire
Wow.
map of the U.S. and listed every boarding school they know documented.
Are there some in New Jersey?
Okay, are there some in California?
Um,
Dawn and I are in the
yes,
same wavelength.
there are in California.
How about
New Jersey?
Immaculate Heart in Los Angeles?
I'm curious because I want to see some stuff in Jersey.
California.
Oh my gosh, it's horrible.
Fort Bidwell, Fort Yuma,
Guys, why do
Greenville
white people
School,
suck?
Down.
Hoopa.
Oh, you're looking at military schools?
Nope, they would have been either. They would have been probably exclusively Native American schools because what they
Okay.
did was
Okay.
they
Yeah.
took these kids all to these places.
Do they
My
call them
grandma,
residential schools there?
we called them Indian. We called them they were the
Indian boarding
Indian boarding schools.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Um,
Wow.
Wow.
the one that my grandma went to, she said in the fall when they would pick all the kids up to ship them to the boarding schools in South Dakota, they would put them in them big semi trailers like that they haul livestock in, the little kids on the bottom and the older kids on top. And that's how they would have to ride in the cold.
See, I know in New Jersey that they had a tribe near where I went to college, in the Ramapo Valley Mountains, which is like right next to New York. And I
Yeah.
don't remember what they were called, but we actually learned about them in college. Like they made us
Okay.
learn about them.
That's
I
good. I
don't
mean, this
know.
information needs to go out more. For me, it was like hearing about these things. I mean, we can talk about many things that have happened in history and that are still happening. Like even as recent as the whole build a wall thing in the States. Like I simply can't wrap my mind around how a human being with empathy, that's the caveat, I guess, treats another
Yeah.
human like that. Like, how could you possibly witness that and be okay on the inside? Like, how could that possibly be your job, knowing that you're
Yeah.
taking families apart? And then even when they started bringing the children, or said, okay, well, we're going to reunite them with their parents. Well, the administrative mess that was them intaking the child, they couldn't even match them with their parents. That's still a problem. Like,
No.
to me,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like, that is
I know that
infuriating.
the
And so
pictures where they had kids basically in dog kennels, I couldn't even.
no. And so when I hear about people, and whatever, like if you're a Trump supporter, whatever, I just can't I can't make it fit for my brain. I just can't. Like, it was, anyway, let's not get into politics, but
Right.
and that's my fault. I get, like, I get
Passionate.
twisted about that sort of thing. It's hard for me to, yeah, it's just, that's a whole world where I'm like,
It's just
ooh,
a
that's like an
different.
ethnography I'd like to do. I don't get it.
Yeah, the LA, I mean, California, I mean, gosh, the US just doesn't have it together, you know?
No, we really don't.
I'm
And I
sorry,
feel
but Canada is doing better. But
oh yeah,
leagues better than the
happen.
US.
And it's funny because you if you were to say that to any Canadian, they'd be like, well, we still have our problems. And
Well, I
it's true,
bet. Yeah,
we do, but it is
but our
true that we're not, no, it's nothing like what you guys have had to
yeah,
endure.
I mean, you guys have issues, but like the US,
We
all of
really
your
have
issues that
issues.
you have handled, we are lacking in those areas. So that's
We
why
haven't
I'm
even
sure you hear
started
it a
on
lot.
them.
What's that?
Mhm.
We haven't even started on those issues.
I know.
No, we're still busy sweeping them under the rug.
No, absolutely. It's got to, yeah, you got to go through 200
Canada,
presidents first before you admit anything.
the Canadian government has at least initialed a formal apology to your Indigenous people. You guys have started teaching proper Indigenous history in your schools. You guys at least acknowledged the fact that the bodies were found around them schools. They ain't even looking here.
Nope.
Wow.
They started
I mean,
digging, I think
you guys have
a couple weeks
recovered,
ago.
what, over 2,000 bodies
Yeah.
so
Oh,
far up in Canada?
It's a lot.
Way more. Like, I think
We
it's up
ain't
to
even heard of
something
one
like
here.
1,000.
wow. That's just,
It's just
It's
when you
really,
start
really
looking.
sad.
It's when you start looking that it's, but I think, and it's, at some point, it's kind of like the COVID numbers, that like it becomes just a statistic, and then you stop
Exactly.
thinking about the
They stopped
individuals.
at what, 2,700 and something, and then we're like, we're just going to estimate it at 5 to 7,000 in Canada. I did know that. I read an
wow.
article from that.
And good point, Derek. This is also a thing. Is there we have
Yes.
issues with
Yep.
clean drinking water in reservations in Canada. So there's this whole, people are racist against this group of people, and you have to understand the conditions in which they grow up. Like, if you lived in a place where, the government is treating all of their communities with top-notch, basic living requirements, water and all the rest, and putting more money in those communities, like, obviously you're gonna have less access to social programs, to other things. You can say taxes all you want and say, oh, you get school free, but you're never going to go to college, or you're never going to go to university if you don't get the opportunity when you're growing up.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, drives me crazy. And Flint, Michigan, yes, that's still a thing. How is that
Oh my
still a
gosh,
thing?
yeah.
Blows me away. It's not like I just can't do anything but laugh, because it's like I feel so powerless in these, like, helping these issues. Like, who do you have to talk to just say, like, don't you think they shouldn't have to boil their water in order to not die when they just need a glass of water in the middle of the, can you imagine?
It's a basic necessity.
So horrible. But, and not to pivot too harshly, but I feel my heart rate going up. And I would love to talk about this issue, like, in a whole, just, like a roundtable discussion where we actually get to chat about it. Because there are some, like you mentioned the term savage, like a lot, that's a trendy term right now. And that makes me recoil, because I know that that's what they used to call Indigenous people when we first met. Oh, they're savages because they go out and hunt and whatever. And so it's, we put it all in industrial things where no one gets to see the meat. We just buy it at the grocery store, like, white people annoy me so much. But I can say that. Yeah, but I would love to talk
Not without me getting mad.
Greater detail.
I'm telling you.
What?
Nothing. I'm just joking.
Oh, I thought you said not me. I'm like, you're not white.
Not without me getting mad.
You look pretty white.
Yeah. You should see me dance.
So white. Yeah, well, I go to dance class on Wednesdays, and I don't show you guys any of what I'm doing because I'm not the greatest dancer. But
what style of dance do you do?
I've been dancing since I was 5 years old. I mean, I'm actually a trained dancer, ballet, mostly traditional dancing. But get me out on a dance floor, I will embarrass every single one of you. Without trying.
You're like Elaine in Seinfeld.
Yeah, it's still dance. 110%. Ask anybody.
Yeah. Well, we should have a show and tell one day, or like I saw someone mention an open mic. I love that idea. Share stories, like, bring your lunchbox. That's what I used to do when I forgot my show and tell. Like, here's my lunchbox. And look at the inside.
We should show our pets.
Yes, and our pets. What was? Oh, yes, but I wanted to bring our attention to Carson's question.
Yes,
I read it before being placed in witness protection. You must pay off all your debts. Doesn't Heidi have a bunch of debt she still owes?
I did not know that was the case.
Me either. And I don't know.
Yes, she still owes a lot of debt.
Yeah,
I ran across it earlier today.
How much did she owe?
To me,
I only got part of it. It was quite a lot.
I'm doing some research just in the background because I would love to make some progress in terms of answering this question, because
absolutely
part of the challenge is that no one really knows what the terms are for witness protection for a reason. But to me, to have that stipulation seems a bit counterintuitive, because people who may warrant protection and who may play a big part in being a witness to trial or testimony or whatever, they are probably proportionately more likely to have some financial issues. So and I don't know how, like, I just can't see someone writing that down in the whole boardroom of people being like, yes, let's do it. Especially since we found out that 95% of people in witness protection are criminals. I don't know, in what way.
Well, I want to bounce off of what you just said. Um, Oftentimes, if they have somebody in witness protection like that, it's because they're a witness against somebody bigger on the food chain that they
That's
can
what.
use to take
Right.
down. And they're almost always going to be a lot poorer than the person they're
Yeah.
trying to get at the
Oh,
top.
of course.
I mean, they go through the little guys to get to the top guys
No,
because
agreed.
they will, be like, hey, your charges will disappear if you get us
Yeah.
here.
They never want the little guy.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. I haven't found the answer to the actual question, and I'll put you up, Dawn, because Alyssa's video's
Sure.
not on. But 12 secrets of the witness protection. They have orientation. That kind of makes sense. Here's what you do. Like, here's a quiz. Get 80% or over, or you're out.
Wow.
Mostly criminals. We know that. Less than 5% of relocated witnesses are completely free of any wrongdoing. Mostly career hoods or look to resolve the charges of their own activities. Right. They sometimes keep their first name, so let's keep an eye out for a Heidi somewhere. Kind of doubt it. Parents ask for better grades for their kids.
Really?
Qualifying, it means school records will need to be modified. Ooh,
Why would
that
they
is
do that?
interesting. Because they don't want, like, it might be a way, like, if so and so is someone who drops out of school all the time, that may be a tip off for somebody looking for them.
Oh, I didn't even think of
I
that.
just made that up on the spot. I don't know if that's if there's any truth to that. They used to get great perks like breast implants.
What?
I always wanted breast
I
implants.
want to be
So
witness
they could look
protection.
different.
Oh, I don't need that one.
Total
You can give me
disguise.
some of yours. I will say that I've come to the other side of it, and I'm very happy that I never did. But look at that.
Your
Someone got
back
a
thanks
penile
you.
implant. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't get them that big.
What?
Yeah,
No dolly.
penile implant. Like who is going around showing their
I mean,
penis?
it says there it gives them a better sense of self-esteem, but seriously,
I
a
get
penile implant?
I can't see that anyway. Apparently they don't do
Sorry,
that anymore.
Ellie.
Divorced spouses have kids hidden from them. If they're in witness protection, not able to see their daughter, witness would be compromised. So that makes sense. I mean, in
Yeah.
Heidi's case, if she is indeed in witness protection, we kind of assume that. Money doesn't last forever. Oh, they pay for housing. I can't see. They were $60,000 from the government before they're expected to land jobs.
Wow.
The height of $1 million to witness who were testifying. I mean, so there's also, and if she's a whistleblower, that's another thing. When we're coming back to Heidi, if she is a whistleblower, she potentially could get a lot of money.
She could.
Yes. So I will show you SEC. Let's see, in the news. I've been looking at these quite a lot. You can see everything I've clicked on. I think there was something about witness protection. Oh, oh yeah. Witness. Nothing, eh? Oh, whistleblower. That's what I was looking for. More than 15 million to 2 whistleblowers.
Are you
So if it's
serious?
a big case, that Heidi, and again, making assumptions, but if she was a whistleblower for the case, it's possible that she could come into a lot of money. 1.1 billion to 226
That's a
million. Still,
lot.
that's a lot of money. And just art, we are just talking about, honestly, we are just talking about a lot of things, Indigenous issues. And but then Carson was asking about, he heard that, let me just
They have to
say
pay off their debts.
that they have to pay off their debts. I don't know that that's true. They allow new spouses, states have their own programs, prisoners have perks. You can leave anytime. Oh, you can leave anytime. That's interesting.
That I never knew you could do.
But I try not to ask leading questions because then you can find anything.
That's true.
But I did ask specifically that just to see fees and expenses, pay the fees of physician. Yeah, I don't know that that's true. But if you do find anything that says otherwise, please let us know. Several YouTube videos said the basics, and that was mentioned. Interesting. If you could send us the links, I would love to take a look. Boston Rose is here. Good evening. It was because they get a new identity, they can't leave their creditors screwed over. Oh, that makes sense. But I wonder if the government would pay off their debts for them in the interest of the case. That to me makes some sense. But again, I know nothing about it. There's no forgiveness for loans or other obligations before entering the program. Witnesses must first pay existing debts and satisfy any outstanding criminal or civil
But what if
obligations.
they can't? So what happens?
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a big wrench in trying to keep someone safe, potentially. So I don't know. Oh, Dawn's
There's
back.
got to be circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good to look into that, and thank you for bringing that up. I would love to get an answer for that, but couldn't find anything just yet. Does anyone else have any other questions? Whoops, didn't mean to do that.
Well, why don't I go so just in case somebody else?
Go for it. All right. Well, thanks for joining. It was nice to have you.
Yay.
I'll probably
Thank
hop off
you.
too.
Make sure to
Oh,
like,
all right.
subscribe. It's free.
Yeah,
Out
like
of
and
thoughts.
subscribe.
And if you guys
Yes.
ever have any questions
free.
on,
Just
the
click the
Discord or
thumbs up.
anything, I'm a mod there, so don't be afraid to ask.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you earlier, Artemis. I know that that you had brought some things up during the day, which were really insightful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a good point. So protective custody and witness protection are very different. So let me see, witness protection versus
protective custody is when you're already arrested and you're
Mhm.
in jail. Then they put you in protective custody, which is usually like solitary, but it's to protect you.
Mhm.
Yeah, witness protection is something you do outside of outside of the jail or prison.
Mhm.
Yeah, before so you don't have a case. Witness protection is basically so you don't have a case or charges. That's what you're doing. That's what you're a witness for is they make, it's basically making a deal. But yeah, the witness protection is completely different. You're incarcerated with protective custody.
My dog keeps chewing her tail. Yeah, that's dog ownership for you. So I guess why report her missing? Well, it's deflection. I know that the FBI will do things to make people, to protect her safety. So I would assume that some of what's been happening in this case that doesn't make much sense to us, like the dog, like the dad saying, "Oh, how did the SEC get my number?" Like your son works for
Wow, I
them,
know,
like
right?
you're probably his emergency contact. Let's be honest. But
That's right there.
I think there are some points in the case where they've kind of pointed us in the wrong direction on purpose. It kind of makes sense given the fact that the police haven't really shared anything else. They've said, "Oh, here's a missing poster," and like look the other way. If indeed there was a murderer that's doing random acts of horrid violence to, and I'll say it, white blonde women, typically the police react in a much stronger way. Gabby Petito is an example of that, but that's pure speculation. We don't know that for sure. We're pretty sure that the evidence that we've seen fits that sort of a theory, but if something comes in that knocks that out, then we're happy to follow what makes the most sense. So that's a good question. But maybe we can just finish off, Dawn, by formally just introducing ourselves and saying, what got us interested in this sort of work, volunteer work, and what our background is. So I will hand the mic to you first.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay. Just so you know, like I'm completely blind without my glasses. That's why they're always on, but I don't have to look at anything right now. Except for all you beautiful people.
I'm just a blob right now.
Yeah, you are completely. I can't see you being a person. I cannot see anything. So anyway, let's see. My name is Dawn, and I have been work. I went. I've been working as a paralegal since a long time. I graduated about over 20 years ago now from Chapman with a degree in paralegal studies um, and legal studies. So I was going to be an attorney. That's my original plan, but I don't do well in front of people.
That
Believe it or
shocks me.
not, I don't. So I am pretty good. I'm great on paper, but it's been a challenge for me to explain myself. So that's the other reason is I was diagnosed with cancer and went through treatment, and so I just never went back to law school. Plus, I kept
Oh
having
my
more
gosh.
amazing children. I must say that in case they're watching. Uh, and I have four of them. My youngest is 21, and my oldest is 31.
Wow.
So yeah, and I live in Huntington Beach, California. So I have a background as a paralegal. I also I work as a crisis counselor for a corporation nonprofit organization that's called Crisis Text Line. So 741-741. If you guys ever need any help, need anything, anybody to talk to, even if it's just about like it's COVID, I need some information about funding, or where I live, I need to pay my rent or utilities, or I'm a veteran and I need to speak with somebody. I'm about to take this bottle of pills. I need to talk to somebody. You feeling alone? Anything, you guys. I just can't even impress enough upon you how much you are not alone. So, crisis text line.
Lovely.
So, yeah, sorry, had to plug that in there
No, you should.
because
I'm sure
it's
there are
really
people watching.
important. Yeah. Please, it's free and you're never alone. So I worked as a family law paralegal and criminal defense paralegal in my early years. And then when I moved to Huntington Beach, it's really difficult to find a job doing that. So I worked I worked in PI. I've worked doing contracts. I've worked in corporate law. I've worked in, a lot. So a lot of area, most areas of law, pretty much every single one over the last 16 years. But my primary interest has always been criminal defense, and criminal law and family law. So, and my kids are all off. They're married. I got one married, one almost married. The other two are have great people in their life, and I live down by the beach with a great pup. Also, you have a pup, and my husband, and that's me.
And your
Oh, and
husband's
I
so
also
sweet.
I'm also working. Sorry, I'm also doing so since COVID happened, I retired, and
Good.
I from the law profession. Although I do it on the side, I still do a lot on the side for people individually. But I am doing background and stand in for TV and film, which is so much fun. And
So cool. Well, we have lots of work in Vancouver if you ever need any, but LA is pretty hot spot for that too.
right, yeah, right. And I'm Boots. I'm the nickname Boots.
Yep, that's Boots. And you're pretty impressive indeed.
And so are you, my dear. Let's hear about you.
Well,
Who
my
are
background doesn't
you?
exactly fit as well as yours does. Um, and that is so true. How do you have a 31-year-old and you look the way you do? Like, give me your tricks.
Aw.
Crazy. My background. So I have a master's degree in gerontology, which is the study of aging. I always wanted to be a reconstructive surgeon, but then I saw a couple of my uncle is a doctor, and he invited me to see some surgeries, and I passed out during one of them because like the person was awake, and I just couldn't take
Oh no.
seeing an alive person be operated on without like numbing or anything, so it kind of just freaked me out. But I pivoted and got a psychology and gerontology degree, as I said, and started working in dementia and Alzheimer's research for a
Oh,
few
wow, that's
years.
awesome.
And so I would follow these people through their journey with all ranges of dementia, whether it's Parkinson's dementia or Lewy body dementia or Alzheimer's, every step of the way from very early to severe. And essentially, I was working with big pharma, trying to find solutions for it. And it was heart wrenching,
Yeah,
the impact that this disease has on
yeah.
people around them. So I wanted to find a new role. I moved from the Maritimes of Canada, which is honestly one of the most beautiful places in the world, mostly because of the people. But the winters there are horrendous. There is nothing like kicking snow off your back tires and it being pure ice, and
Oh,
it
I
just it's
love that.
horrible. It just
No.
oh no. And if it doesn't come off, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I agree.
And if your car doesn't start on your birthday, which it didn't
No,
one day,
no.
one year, it does. It's not a great time. So anyway, I moved to Vancouver 4 years ago and took a job as initially as a researcher in the medical field. I then started working as a territory manager for a neurotech company. My territory was Canada, and then I started most recently working as a marketing manager for a big company in their health division. So that has been wonderful. It takes up a lot of my time. That's why I have two phones. Don't believe anyone when they
Okay,
say it's great to
Heidi.
have two phones. Ugh, I know. I actually have three laptops too. Like,
I
if one
bet.
of my laptops go missing, like you guys know
Right?
where to look. I'll keep my
Exactly.
location services
Well,
on.
we got a good team here. You won't go anywhere. We'll find you. Trust and believe that one.
Yeah, but my skills are research. Like, and I have a very critical mind, and so I approach everything with a healthy bit of skepticism, and I have a lot of integrity, and I don't make assumptions. And if I do, I make it very, very clear that it's an assumption that I'm making or a speculation. So
Yeah.
I think that's why we make such a great team. You have like every area of law covered, and you know that language, and I know, and research too, and then I just come and I bring my vigor
Common
or
sense
whatever
to
it,
it.
yeah, and common common
Which
sense.
I kind of lack because I walk into walls 5 times a day. But yeah,
Well, you got to wear your glasses more often. Okay,
I can't see you.
so
What did you say?
we have Ali. Okay, so before you flash, can you flash the poster I just put on Discord? Of course we can. So let me do that. And I think we're going to close off
Yeah.
unless anyone else wants to call in. We'll close off early, but let me just get that poster up. Where is
Oh,
it?
and we
It
want
is.
I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's here and
Mhm.
everybody who is watching and even if you're not here and watching it later, thank you too. We really enjoy doing this. I think both of us are really finding it fulfilling, and I think that we have got a great team here and hope that we keep this going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ali, which poster? Oh, there it
It's a
is.
new
Never
case,
mind. I
right?
got it. I got it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's share.
Yeah, thank
There
you,
we go.
Derek. Thank you,
Oh my
Allie.
gosh, you guys are the
Thank you,
best.
Alyssa.
Seriously,
You guys are
unbelievable.
amazing.
Love you guys.
Oh, is
Okay,
this new?
this is new from Rochester, New York. So missing as of the 15th today. So this is urgent. If you can find this guy, amazing. If you're in New York, 14-year-old male, 5'3", last seen wearing a black jacket, blue pants, white Nike Air Force Ones,
14-year-old
and
child.
yeah, he's a baby. Hispanic,
Oh
unknown,
my gosh.
mid-size SUV. Oh my gosh.
It's like,
So
Allie, is this a carjacking or something? Like
I mean, it must have just happened.
possibly taken by 4 to 5 black
4 to
males. Good Lord.
5 males with masks. Great. Okay, well, there you go. There's a case you can look into it like immediately, and if you find anything, then you've saved potentially a child's life. How wonderful would that be? Wouldn't that make your year? Like it's coming to the end of
Absolutely.
2021.
I don't say
Let's
it.
finally get a good year. I thought 2020 was going to be my year, but that
Right?
didn't happen.
What are you gonna
So
do?
yeah, I mean, if we can solve some cases, if we can bring justice to families or find missing children or find Heidi or something else, my God, wouldn't that be
Yep.
a great little holiday gift? So there we go. Ali said it literally just came through her phone. So there you go. Go look for this guy, James Fernandez Reyes.
Please.
Um,
All right.
yeah, so there you
You
go.
guys, and don't forget to message us or call in or go onto our Discord.
Yes.
If you guys have anything that's local to myself or Mo, either one, let us know.
I'll put our
and-
email in the comments section or in the
Perfect.
caption of the video when it's posted, and you can get in touch with us. We'd love to work
Right.
with you.
All right, you
All
guys.
right.
And
Bye, everyone.
back to Heidi.